let the BS begin. Okay, so we have Kyle Richards and we have Lisa Rinna speaking out after their heinous behavior towards their castmate Garcelle Bouvet, and in particular, Garcelle's son. Okay, so we're going to dive into these non-apologies, the BS, the lack of accountability, all in this one video. Absolutely, we're going to discuss it all. But if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so now. Hit that notification bell button and join the texting community so I can send you a text message every time a new video drops. So let's dive in, shall we? So as most of you guys are well aware, we have a new episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills coming up tonight. Okay, so I am sure this is going to be the stress watch of the ages. However, we have to discuss everything leading up to the episode in order to really get ourselves in the groove for what we're going to experience tonight. And the ladies have been in a tizzy trying to spin the narrative so that they come out looking a little bit cleaner, a little nicer, with some non-apologies and some lack of accountability. So just to remind you of what's happened, Erika Jayne in the upcoming episode is going to not only try to link up and flirt with Garcelle's older son, Oliver, but she's also going to tell her younger son, who is 14 years old, to get the F out of here when he's trying to help Crystal pick up his mom's flowers from her birthday party. So in that instance, we see Crystal escort Jax off looking, confused and quite shocked. Okay. And then Garcelle confronts Erika in a very non-confrontational way, considering how she spoke to her son. But then you also have Kyle, PK, Maurizio, and you have Dorit talking about the incident the next day. And you get this sort of giggling and laughing and, Kyle talking about it like, oh my God, it's funny, but it's not funny. And Mauricio saying, I'm glad she said that. And then Dorit saying, well, I'm going to give her a massive pass. But it wasn't my child. And PK saying, well, it's okay to have a blow up every now and again. I'm 100% glad she did it. Okay. So for me, and I'm paraphrasing right there, but for me, all of this was actually quite disgusting, and as we've spoken about. But now we have Kyle speaking out, and we have her sort of explaining whether or not she's already apologized to Garcelle or not. And unfortunately, guys, she has not. Kyle doesn't think that she's really owes any apologies. Here's what she had to say. She says that that due to the time difference, because Kyle is in Europe, she hasn't spoken with Garcelle, but plans on sending a text later. Now, this was yesterday. No word on if she actually sent the text or not. Girl, this does not warrant a text. It warrants a call and a public apology, okay? But anyway, she says, if I had obviously seen it because I only saw it actually last night on Instagram, that clip, I would have a different reaction. What? You're only reacting now because we are reacting. So she spoke to metro.co.uk while in London with Hayu, okay? And she spoke out against the reaction and revealed she's not been able to apologize to Garcelle just yet. She says, I didn't even see Erika say that. I was told the next day. I was laughing at a friend's drunken behavior, as one does sometimes. Nothing to do with disrespecting anyone's child, especially. I'm a mom of 4 daughters. I think if I had obviously seen it because I only saw it actually last night on Instagram, that clip, I would have a different reaction. But when you hear a story like that, you're like, oh my God, I laugh sometimes at the wrong moments. But it wasn't about Garcelle and her son. It was about Erika. Then she also confessed that she wasn't used to seeing that side of Erika, who has been notably guarded since she first arrived on our screens back in 2015 on season 6 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She says, especially when you're not used to seeing that, you hear a story the next day like, oh my gosh, so-and-so was drunk and they did this and that. And we laughed, and it was like, to think that someone misinterpreted as that I didn't care and being flippant about someone's child. I would hope that after 12 years on this show that people would know me better. Well, actually, I think we do know better, which is why we know it happened the way we saw it. Okay. So apparently, it's the time difference that led to her not being able to speak to Garcelle. She says that she just saw the clip for the first time too. Actually, no, because I'm in London. I don't know what time it is. It's 2 a.m. or something right now. I'm not even sure. But that's my plan in between interviews today, to send her a text. In the beginning, I found it to be nice and refreshing about Erika's change in behavior. It's so funny. When I watch the show, I'm like, so nice to see Erika finally loosening up. And drunk, might I add. She says, I didn't know she was literally speaking to herself on the boat. She seemed out of her mind. It was cutting back and forth to me saying, it's so nice to see her relax and loosened up. In the beginning, honestly, it was refreshing to see her just not be so guarded and stiff. But then it got a little too far, obviously. Then it wasn't so appealing anymore. You think? Not appealing? When was it ever? When has anything this lady has done in the past 2 seasons been appealing? Well, actually, since she's been on the show. I mean, for the first several seasons, she gave us nothingness except going off on people inappropriately. And now the only reason she's at the center of the storyline is because of the crimes that her soon to be ex-husband committed. And the fact that she was able to live off of the money from those crimes, allegedly. Anyway, meanwhile, Kyle then goes on to post on her Instagram stories an explanation for all of this. Listen to this. It says, hi guys, I wanted to share some things with you about this week's episode. I have not seen it yet, but I have seen clips floating around online. First, let's address my comment to Sutton. When Diana was sharing her story about having a miscarriage, I was taken aback because I felt like Sutton wasn't letting Diana have her moment to share what she had just recently gone through. I had obviously had a few drinks and didn't express myself clearly, and I was disappointed in the way that I handled myself altogether. When I woke up the next morning, thought about what happened the night before, and I realized that maybe Sutton was sharing her story with Diana to connect with her in some way. I immediately called Sutton and apologized to her. I consider Sutton a close friend and care about her a lot. Sutton accepted my apology and we moved on. I wonder if she apologized for yanking Sutton around like a rag doll. Probably not. Anyway, she goes on to say, now onto the clip where Mauricio, PK, Dorit, and I are discussing Erika's behavior at Garcelle's party. I had not seen what Erika said to Jax in person, but was told about it the following day, along with some funny moments as well. When I said it's not funny, but it's funny, I meant Erika being drunk was funny. Ha ha ha. But what she said to Jax was not. I hope you all know me well enough by now. I certainly do not condone speaking to children like that. See, this is where the gaslighting comes in. You are expecting us to rely on your previous credibility, which is actually kind of shot, okay, to justify what we actually saw on the screen. You're trying to use your past credibility to wipe away and wipe the slate clean from what you actually said. So then she proceeds. We are all parents and certainly would not want anyone speaking to any of our children like that. Until Mexico, we had never seen Erika drunk like that. So this was new behavior we were seeing. I think while focusing on the more important issue, the more important issue was being minimalized. Okay. Yeah, you so focused on sucking up to your friend that it didn't really matter to you that she had cursed out a 14-year-old. Anyway, she goes on to say, I never post things like this, but I feel absolutely terrible watching these clips, so I wanted to share with you. Love, Kyle. Girl, if you don't get out of here with this non-apology, here's what you could do. You could simply say this. Wow, upon further reflection and consideration, I realize how absolutely wrong we all were. Thank you all for holding me accountable. To Garcelle, I offer my sincerest apologies. And to Jax, I apologize for not championing you as a child and speaking up against such vile behavior. I regret my actions that day, and I can only hope to show you all how sincerely sorry I am. Regrettably, I am truly sorry. Period. Dot. Okay? Meanwhile, Lisa Rinna posted on her Instagram, grief never ends, but it changes. It's a passage, not a place to stay. Grief is not a sign of weakness nor a lack of faith. It is the price of love. She says, I have had a really rough time of it. I think you've seen how hard this has hit me. I'm sorry if I've raged on you, about you. It really has nothing to do with any of you. I never thought I would feel this way. I really thought grief would be about sadness and pain, but it's so much more. I am really struggling. I just never thought it would feel like this, but here it is. Losing my mom has hit really hard. Thank you for your patience with me. I know it's not easy to have warm fuzzies from me right now, but I'll get through this and hopefully come out the other side stronger and better. Thank you for your support and your love. I so appreciate it. I'm feeling like this is a sympathy grab. While I do believe that there is a lot of truth to what she is saying based on what we all know about grief, and while we are all sorry for her loss, because I don't want anyone to have to go through that. But what I do know is that it does not give you the excuse to be a raging nightmare on the social media, crying out about people being racist just because you've had an argument with Garcelle. No, you're racist because you do something racist. That's what makes you racist, okay? So there's that, all right? There's that. It's going to take a little bit more than this post for me to believe that you are any different than we've seen over the past several months/years. So change behavior is the best form of apology. So once we see that, then we will move forward, okay? Now, the final thing is that Garcelle has posted, an appreciation post to her sons, Oliver, Jackson, Jade. She says, you boys make me so proud. You are loving, kind, and respectful. You show respect to people even when they don't deserve it. Respect is a reflection of your character, not theirs. And so it's interesting to note that the only people that I see from the cast that have liked this post have been Cherie, Sutton, and Kathy Hilton. Very interesting indeed. So it'll be interesting to watch tonight's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I will be stressed watching it, as you guys know. We will be recapping it tomorrow. I just thought I would give you all the information that you would need to go into this week's episode if you hadn't had it already, and consolidate it into one video for you guys. Now, with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.